Hi, I'm Drew Peirce. I'm the Executive Director of Good Samaritan Ministries. Our mission in town is to end homelessness and poverty. We do that through a series of interconnected programs that move people from crisis to stability and from stability to thriving. Or put another way, we give people an open door to a home, a path forward out of poverty, and a traveling companion to walk alongside them. So great to be here with you. Great to support what Movement Day is doing. I've been asked to share a quick reflection and prayer about affordable housing. Honestly, I'm not sure I've got a lot to share with this group about prayer and scripture and all that you know, but let me offer you this, some quick context to inform your prayers. One piece of scripture that I keep in mind when I pray about our most vulnerable seeking housing, and a core prayer for those struggling that our Director of Housing Services has really challenged me to share each day. Sound good? So context. Let's give a little background that helps inform your prayers. In Ottawa County, 31% of residents are struggling to make ends meet. We call it the Alice threshold. They're really only one crisis away from falling into poverty. And with COVID, they all hit that crisis at once. Options in Ottawa County are very, very few, which means that people are struggling and having to pay too much for their rent. A little over 23% of renters in Ottawa County pay more than 50% of their income on rent. So it's not sustainable and highly stressful and in need of your prayers. So at the same time, we at Good Samaritan Ministries have been able to do a lot to keep people from becoming homeless through the eviction diversion program. So we've stepped up in the last year. We've helped a little over 600 families from becoming homeless because of COVID. But that list keeps growing into the hundreds of families that are at risk of becoming homeless because of the impact of COVID-19. And so they need our prayers. So a piece of scripture that I keep in mind all the time when I'm praying is from the passage in Matthew 25. I'm sure you all know it and know it really well about whatever you do for one of the least of these. And that's the verse that I really focus on, scripture that speaks into my prayer life around our most vulnerable in our community and around the homeless. Specifically, verse 40 says, "And the king will answer them, 'Truly I tell you, just as you did it for one of the least of these who are members of my family, you did it to me.'" I find it to be one of the most misquoted lines of scripture. That often we forget the one of in there. But I think in God's wisdom and in protecting us, God says, do it for one of. Focus on the one. If you just focus on the overall issue of poverty and homelessness, you're going to be overwhelmed. So focus on one of and make a difference in their lives. It helps keep us from being overwhelmed. It forces us to be specific, and it challenges us to know those that are hurting by name and to know their stories. And to know individually is you have to know their stories, which leads me to the core prayer. If I do anything in this really brief reflection, it's to represent their stories well to you, to inform your prayers. So let me share a few messages we've received recently from those needing our services. I share this with their permission. I encourage you to listen for the no's in the story. Listen for the places where they hear no constantly. So I'll read them to you. I'm reaching out today because myself and 2 boys need a place to live. My credit is awful, and it seems like every apartment I've tried says I don't make enough money. I need help. I moved out of my rental because of pandemics and roommates moving out because no one could pay and we all got scared. Now I'm really scared. I feel so trapped. We need a place to live. Hopefully someone can help. I'm not a bad person, I promise. Or another. My family is facing homelessness. The rest of my family just moved out, and we have to stay behind because I can't find anything. They won't take us because my son needs a lot of care, and that means I don't have a lot of money. This house has mold very badly to the point me and my 4 children are sleeping in one room. Can you help? Or finally, I currently collect unemployment. Till I get a job, which is hard with COVID-19, my friend wouldn't let me stay because I couldn't pay rent anymore. I'm in my car, my little dog, who's the greatest dog ever. He doesn't deserve this. Please get back to me soon and help me if you can help, and let me know if you can help me. I've never been homeless. I'm sorry to have to ask for help. So here it is, quite simply. A lot of the people that we serve and that we get to walk alongside constantly hear no's in their life. Everywhere they turn, every application they give, every opportunity they look for, they often hear no's. So if I could encourage you to pray one thing for those that are facing affordable housing crisis and poverty, pray that their no's would become yeses, and that they would hear, yes, we'll rent to you. Yes, you can stay. Yes, we can help. Yes, you are loved and valued. Yes, you and your kids will be okay. I encourage you to pray for no's to become yeses and how you might be a part of that. Thank you for the ministry you do, and blessings on all that you do for this community. Thanks.